to 2025 vision and goal setting and a free template with Notion with me, Katrina Julia. Hi, I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, creator and CEO and traveler, and I love helping creators and CEOs who crave creating community and cash to create it like a boss, like you. And in this video, we are going to be diving deep into my framework for the year in review, for goal setting, and behind the scenes looks with Notion templates, as well as my blog and previews on what is on my Etsy store and on Gumroad. And side note, creators, if you are not using those platforms like Gumroad, like Etsy, like Notion, like ClickUp, you are missing out. And that's what I'm here to share with you, as well as a framework for goal setting. So let's dive into all the juiciness for 2025, the behind the scenes for me, your creator. You'll get access to my free creator toolkit and this template. So you can see here, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, you can see the visual. If you are listening in on the podcast, I highly recommend, you can definitely listen like if you're driving or if you're at work or whatever the case is, because it's still gonna give you divine downloads on things to think about with your year in review, as well as your vision for 2025, for next week, next month, next quarter, next year, whenever you're listening to this. But then I definitely recommend you head on over to my YouTube at Limitless Global Girl and see this real time when you're completing the template yourself. And make sure when you're completing any template that you get from me, whether it's the free one like the year in review and the 100+ chat GPT prompts, or any other free ones in the future. I also just dropped a free one on my marketing plans. No. The marketing plans are not free. Full disclaimer. On the content calendar, I dropped a free template on the content calendar for ClickUp on Gumroad. Gumroad. Miss Creator is my shop's name there, and I'll also link it down below within the Create It Like a Boss link. So on a year in review, you can see right away I have the reflections, and so that's linked to the template on the 100+ chat GPT prompts. And I already organized the boards, meaning like the layout with health, wealth, marketing, biz, travel, relationships, reflections. And then you get to customize this how you want. And so make sure, again, you duplicate any template that you buy, whether it's free or like that you access, whether it's free or that you buy. Make sure you always go to typically the 3 dots and duplicate so you can use it in your space. And the reason why I just laid it out like that with the reflections below is because you may be focusing on a different area of life than I am. Like right now, I'm focusing on maintaining and elevating health back to what it was when I was competing. But then I'm highly focused on wealth and business and marketing, while I'm decreasing things in adventures, or maybe not decreasing is the right word, but creating more space for health, wealth, business, marketing, and the courses that you see. So you get to customize that how you like. Here's an example on my vision board. You can customize and create whatever you like in Canva. Take a picture of one that you really did in real life, whatever that is for you. Then you easily and effortlessly drop your 3 goals. If you had 3 for the year before, you can modify the year depending on when you are doing this. And I started adopting 3 focus points for goals in 2024 versus this year. I really am focusing on 1, but then I have sub goals, so to speak, to keep myself growing and elevating and holding myself accountable. So you can see, if you're watching, you can see this clearly. If you're listening, I'll walk you through it. I hit 2 out of my 3 goals. I traveled to over 12 countries. I scaled over 10 times through automation with Kajabi, through listing on platforms, through using tools like Repurpose and IO, through tracking my time, through simplifying, so many different ways. And then I provided an access into my vision framework. Now, disclaimer, this may not be, oh, this is, okay, so this gives you the blog link to my 2024 vision so you can follow in the framework. And then I also embedded it in the Notion template. I'm really proud of new habits like increasing alignment, like my Sacred 7 morning, like 10xing productivity. So keep this section simple. And then I link in my Create It Like a Boss hyperlink that's also on my IG. And you can find there things like my creator community free circle, my 75 tips, tools, and tech, my blog, my creator confessions newsletter, the creator toolkit, and other amazing things that can help you as a creator and truly know that you're a business and shift from creator to CEO. And then I linked so many different travels that blew me away in the past year, and you can see those drop there. And I outlined them by year. And then I also included as a preview, in case you haven't seen it before, one of my top 10 travel guides from Bali from last year. I was grateful and blessed to spend over 5 months there last year. I have several other top 10 guides on my blog, and I'm actually going to be releasing them on Google Play, on Etsy, on Gumroad as well this year into guides. And then I have a whole life assessment. So for years, I've been following, listening, learning from Brendan Bouchard, among many other creators and CEOs like Jasmine Star, like Marie Forleo. I'm an avid student and invest all the time into my growth, whether it's through free podcasts, free resources like this, whether it's templates. Recently, I connected with Julia on purpose. I dove into some courses recently with Maria Went. I love personal development. So anything I share, I also live and lead myself. And so Brendan Bouchard, for years, I've been part of his monthly mastermind of now Growth Day. I attended his High Performance Academy event live in person. I attended his World's Greatest Speaker training. I did a deal where we purchased, I think it was like, he was offering, and I say we, I mean to everyone. He was offering, I think it was 50 books of his High Performance Academy. No, 50 books of his High Performance Habits. And then you got a free ticket to the World's Greatest Speaker training. So I think it was an investment of $500. You got the books and the ticket, which had literally been manifesting that year. I was going to attend that event. So I was so grateful when he did that. And it provided me with that access. And then I've followed his journal framework and actually purchased, like, I think it was 12 of his journals 3 years ago and gave them as gifts. So, side note, I also have a journal on Kindle as well and on my Etsy store, Creator Community. It may change to Creator Shop, but definitely look at the hyperlink on the bit.ly/create it like a boss, because I will link my Etsy shop and Gumroad and other resources there as well. So in any event, he practices a whole life assessment, which I love. And you can see my assessment from last year. And, we're all on different levels. And then we all, at different times in our lives, hold ourselves to different standards depending on what our goals are, right? So that's the disclaimer with the ratings. It's how you feel with where you're at now. So my health right now, like some of you may rate it as a 10. I eat super healthy. I work out typically 5+ times a week, even with travel. I join gyms. However, I'm rating myself a 7 because I didn't work out as consistently as I wanted in the gym. I also wanted to start competing again in bikini fitness shows this past year. I didn't feel mentally, spiritually, or financially aligned to do that yet. So I still rated myself really, really high, but it's not a 9 or a 10 like I would have rated myself, say, in 2014 and 15 when I was doing fitness shows, doing photo shoots, etc. I felt really aligned. Emotionally rated myself as a 7 because I definitely had some down, and dark days. Love, I rated myself as a 5 because took a lot of steps this year. I, did a lot of inner work. I did courses like Attract Your Husband with Janelle Lene. I got on a dating app for the first time in 2024 and shared all about it on my blog, on my show, on my Instagram, on my YouTube. Family, I connected with family quite a bit. My mom came to spend time with me in Cyprus. We all connected in June in Austria. I went to Disney World with my brother and his family. So some of you may rate that as a 10, but I felt like we could have definitely, been closer or spent more in-depth time. So still really, really good, but not maybe yet where I would want it to be. Friends, I rated as a 5. There's been years where I felt like it's a 9 or a 10, where I spent a lot of time with friends. I've had really, really close, deep friendships in my life with Janelle, with Angela. Janelle's my angel now in heaven. You may have heard me talk about her in the past. She passed away in, wow, 2013 or 2014, December. It was definitely December, but now I'm confusing the years. I believe it was 2014. Yeah, it was 10 years last year. Yes, 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 yes. So it's 2014. I was confusing it based on one event in that particular year, either 2013 or 2014. Oh my God. Because now I'm confusing it with what year it was. It's confusing me between a trip in Barcelona that I know she was still alive in 2013, but then I did my first fitness show in 2014. And I think she had already passed then. Yes, 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 yes. So it was December of 2013, 100%, because that was part of also what triggered me even deeper to transform. But those events were also confusing me because it's been, wow, 11 years. Oh my God. So the friends that and we're still close, like Angela and I are still close, Lindsay and I are close, but it's different and we don't talk as often and we're not around each other as often. And where they're at in their lives, with marriages, with children, with being in Texas is different than where I am with traveling the world and creating a creator business. So, I'm craving more friends that are in that space on deeper levels. So that's also why it's a 5. Mission, I feel really, really aligned, but I also rated it as an 8 and not a 9 or as a 10 because I don't yet have the level of community and both online and real life that I desire, the impact, the influence, the results. So I'm holding myself accountable to those levels and layers. And then experiences is definitely a 10. I mean, you guys, like when I look at the levels of travel and adventures that I went on in 2025, I'm like, it's a 10, like 10 times over. My spirit is a 7 because I definitely grew a ton, and I'll share some highlights from my learning curriculum. I do learning curriculums that I align and create for myself at the beginning of the year, and then I modify it throughout the year. And then my finances were like a 4 to a 5. I feel like I've grown in so many levels. I don't overspend to the levels and layers that I, used to at all. I create more calm than chaos. I'm increasing in stability. At the same time, there's a lot of levels and layers of trauma in my finances. I am learning to receive better. I'm learning to focus more on creating, an average of $300 days. You're going to hear about that for my 2025 vision and goal setting that I'll do a voiceover as well. So this template you're looking at right now, the year in review template, if you're listening, is free, but the vision full on 2025 template is not free, and you can access that on Etsy and Gumroad or in my Kajabi bundle, and it's also included in my full creator school or creator ultimate bundle, like the ultimate school as well. So there's definitely a lot of, that's the biggest area I'm focusing on walking into 2025 is finances. And then learning's like a 9 or a 10. So the reason why I rated myself a 9 is because I feel like some areas of life are taking me longer to learn than I would like. But then I'm also celebrating that I learned so much. So then here's all the incredible adventures I had over Cyprus, over Egypt, over Thailand, over Bali, over Disney World, over Austria, over Kuala Lumpur, over Singapore, over back to Bangkok, to Thailand, over Vietnam, over Christmas, New Year's, so many different things. And I linked in my Thailand playlist from 2024 as well. Biz milestones, I increased massively. And so here I want you to really, really think about going back to your adventures, whether it's locally, globally, online, whatever it is, they all matter. And then your biz milestones. You may list out a ton, or you may hyper focus into 3+ areas like I did. Like I'm really, really proud of that I increased massively alignment with launches. And that includes a ton with business to business. Like you can see that in my creator toolkit. You can see that in my creator to CMO toolkit that's free at bit.ly/creator to CMO, using amazing tools like Apollo.io, like repurpose.io, like Opus Clip, and then increasing the alignment and speed with launches from B2B to emails using chat GPT like crazy, to blogs, to decreasing time on blogs, but then also scoring in November. You guys, an average of 11 minutes that people spend on my website. Like that's crazy and unheard of, okay? Creator to cash and over 500+ people in the community, like 200+ people alone in my Create It Like a Boss book. 10x scaling, working with Amazon, working with Expedia. So there's a lot of celebrates there. Launching my Creator to Cash course and toolkit. So there's a lot of celebrates and clarity there. And obviously those include massive, steps as well. Personal development. Time Genius, finishing Time Genius via Marie Forleo 2 times in 2024. And so that helped me massively track my time. And then now I'm using tools like ClickUp to actually track my time and where I spend my time, and tracking, like doing time trackers. Finishing the Wealthy Woman bundle that I purchased via Black Friday in 2023. B School round 3, 15+ books. Mind Valley, and joining Mind Valley and finishing over 7+ courses or 7+ quests. Breathwork, social curator, and your travel influencer bag. So social curator is with Jasmine Star. I was in her community like over, I think, 2 years. I decided in 2024 to step away, to simplify where I'm learning and to create space for more into creators that I feel more aligned with what they share and teach now. With like, I feel like I'm doing really, really good with social media, with the flow, with using chat GPT, with repurposing, and the action plans, and so much value is definitely in social curator. But I was feeling at the end of 2024 like I desired deeply to shift with a creator like Maria Went, that is massively scaling with ManyChat, that teaches more, even more with goal setting, that is generating, with a more time freedom type based and smaller team. With her courses and community, and generating 5, 6, 7+ million, and just in the style and the way and the items that she teaches. So I created more space for that. Your travel influencer bag with Gabby at Paxlight. I finished and went through her monthly program over 4 months, and her challenge, and I'm feeling like more like I want to maybe dive in with One Peak Creative. So it's being very intentional. And then speaking of personal development, here is my podcast. I have over 4 seasons loaded. We reached over the top 100 in 2023. So these are some of my lessons learned, finishing and wrapping up 2024. Increased alignment simplifies everything. Taking breaks enhances clarity. Simplicity. So one of my goals you're going to hear me talk about in 2025 is really focusing on my core offer, Creator School. And then everything leads to Creator School. Like this is leading to Creator School. My Creator Toolkit leads to Creator School. My intro offer with the multi-passionate bundle, or the Creator book bundle, leads to Creator School. Like that is my focus. Listing on Google Play and free books or paid books leads there. These templates and the template bundles that I'm listing on Gumroad, on Kajabi, on Etsy, all lead into Creator School. Side note, you get the full template bundle if you jump into Creator School. So you can see how the energy is intensifying there. The transformation toolkit with health, wealth, business tools is everywhere along. My creator book bundle, the multi-passionate bundle has the 7-day challenge, and the creator school has a 1 year in the creation club mastermind. So simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Abundance is my birthright, creating and cultivating a consistent relationship with money, self and group accountability, even more things in real life that I'm craving more of that community, tracking metrics, which is why I'm also using time trackers. So in this free template, I also included a financial review that you can drop in by month. And then you can also dive in things like the year review and the vision upgrade. Memory matters, and you can see examples I have here of Egypt, of Bali, of Cyprus, and then a link to my Instagram. So I hope you guys love this template. Definitely remember to duplicate it. Definitely drop a comment on my YouTube channel if you are listening into this on my YouTube channel, and leave a review on the podcast. So in the next segment of this video, so don't leave yet, and or in the podcast, I may separate it in two, or I may just dump it all in one. Either way, in the next segment, however that looks like, it's going to dive into an intro into my vision template, which is a paid upgrade, full disclaimer, but I'm still going to walk you through it step by step. And I am also going to give you a preview of the template. And then you also, which this is 100% free, you're also going to see my 2025 vision blog. So you can also use that as a resource, as well as this video, as well as this podcast episode, to complete your 2025 or future year visions, whether you choose to upgrade with the template or my multi-passionate or creator bundles or school as well. So let's get into the Vision 2025 framework, free blog, and template. So let's create it. To 2025 vision, goal setting, and the year in review. And the next segment is all about vision. So we're going to dive into the behind the scenes with the vision template that you get a preview of. That one is an upgrade. And I am in this beautiful spot with this cherry blossom tree in Hanoi in Vietnam for New Year's. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love cherry blossoms and orchids. So this is a perfect space to have salt coffee and fresh spring rolls and record the rest of this video. So let's create it. Okay, let's dive into the vision and the year ahead. And if you're curious about 2024, you can actually dive into 2024. However, for this episode, we are diving into two behind the scenes with my blog that you can find at fitlifecreation.com/blog if you prefer to read. I know some people love to have and listen on a podcast and follow along, and then some people love to tune in to a YouTube video. And with the YouTube video, you can see not only the behind the scenes for the blog, but also the templates. So in the last segment, I dove into the year in review, and you can also find that in the framework on my blog. And just at a glance, we're going to go through that, where I have the year in review and some highlights that I shared in the last segment, like completing 2 out of my top 3 goals. So really, really diving into what worked as far as the goals that you set for the previous year and what you're celebrating. Maintained health as a priority, and I completed 25,000 minutes working out. I track my workouts on Peloton, the Peloton app, as I travel the world. Hashtag not sponsored yet. Although in 2025, one of my goals is actually to do more shorts, more Instagram reels, and more videos and tagging Peloton, because part of my goal is to become, or part of my vision and my manifestation is to become their go-to digital nomad / creator that does workouts all around the world. So what not better way to do that than to literally create and live in it, right? I expanded personal development with completing Time Genius, B-School, Social Curator. I mentioned that in the last segment as well. And so this is also a challenge to you to think about ways that you grew and what you completed. how I increased in real life events in Bali with Herbalife Extravaganza in the US and globally, and then adopted the time tracking habit, which has been massive in impacting my alignment, my awareness, and simplicity. And I'm actually elevating that up in 2025 with using the literal time tracker on ClickUp. Now, I'm nowhere near perfect on it. Like, I forgot to click it before I hit record on this actual video and this podcast episode. However, it is forcing me to be way more intentional and aligned even further than last year. Because last year I was using a spreadsheet tracker, which obviously has its pluses and minuses, right? But now by using a time tracker on ClickUp and getting better and better and better, it's also going to give me visuals of my dashboard of where I'm spending the time. So, and challenge me to be more aware, because it starts with awareness. And so also traveling to 12 countries and the countless adventures like I shared. And on a recent Instagram reel, I shared some of the lessons learned, like increased alignment, abundance is my birthright. And you can see this as I'm scrolling through this on my visual on the YouTube video. And then one thing I didn't share in the last segment, so I wanted to share this from the blog, and you can definitely dive into this. It's fitlifecreation.com/blog. And you can type year in review, or you'll see it depending on when you look at it. Like right now, it's in the first 2 blogs when you click that link. So what's next for 2025? Becoming the best version of myself, aligned with my purpose, my focus on my word for the year, which is embody in everything I am and do. Number 3, embrace my top 3 goals in lifestyle, wellness, and finances. And we're going to dive into another way that I'm shifting my goal setting in 2025. So I shifted massively in 2024, and I'm shifting again this year. Like, I have one focus, but then I have sub goals. Embracing love and building a strong relationship with my best friend / future love, whoever that and however that is. Increase stability and slow travel to increase alignment, consistency, community, and discipline. Create and attend transformative events with like-hearted souls and transformative retreats, as well as hosting and creating my own. Traveling to 7+ countries and getting paid to explore. So if you've been following along or tuned in the past or heard me talk about on Creator Confessions, which is also coming up, you know that in 2024, I had a vision and goal to travel to 12+ countries. However, with the travel and surprises and the number of flights that impacted me in where I'm at and where I was with my mindset and also stability, I realized let me help myself counter that self-sabotage. So now let's get into the 2025 blog, and then I'm going to give you a preview and the overview on the template, which again, the year in review template on Notion is free. The upgrade on the 2025 Vision Notion template and or ClickUp template is a paid investment. Thank you so much. Come on. So let's get into the 2025. Oh my God, I just got my salt coffee. I'm sitting at a beautiful cafe here in Vietnam, in Hanoi. It's called Luc Thoi. It's right on the edge of Hoan Kem Lake. And you can find it in between, actually right behind the puppet theater, and in between the puppet theater and Notes Cafe, and you'll know that you're at the right place when you see a huge cherry blossom trees and cherry blossoms decor. It's so beautiful, you guys. So my salt coffee just arrived, so hence the pause. So 2025 vision and the year ahead. So again, if you're tuning into the show, I'm going to give you an overview, and then it's repurposed via Headliner.app on my YouTube channel. And then on the full video, where I'm combining on my YouTube channel my intro, behind the scenes with the year in review template, then the behind the scenes with the blogs, and then behind the scenes with the vision template upgrade, you can see right now where I'm going through the blog post and the behind the scenes. So I don't know about you, friends, but it feels like just yesterday I was completing my 2024 vision as I sat in my gorgeous 2-story townhome in Cyprus.
which is also like a pinch me moment, right? Like, so grateful to God. There is no accident that you're here on my YouTube channel, on the show, uh, watching the blog, reading the blog. I'm sure that you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur, global traveler, creator to CEO, and are deeply desired to be. So, spoiler alert, the 2024 did not go as planned at all. If you know, you know, I talked about in the last, earlier in the video, earlier in the show, a lot of the vision came true and a lot went above and beyond and exceeded my expectations. At the same time, a lot didn't. And there is a lot of disappointment that I experienced, a lot of challenges that I faced, and a lot of ways in being hard on myself. An average of 3-ish dark days per month, and then sometimes where I simply disassociated, binged on Netflix. Like, I'm giving you the raw and the real. And actually, it's really interesting because in 2024, yes, I scaled 10 times. Yes, I created more than ever. At the same time, I also experienced more dark days than I have ever. I binged on Netflix and Amazon more than I ever have. So part of that was, being in the both and being grateful and experiencing life and being human and giving myself the grace to do so. And this is my invitation for you to do so, and to release and let go of perfection and to embrace progression. So my word for 2024 was worthy. My phrase was, I am worthy as I am. So it invited in so much more grace than ever. And walking into 2025, my word is embody. And I am embodying in all I am and do. So there was no surprise for me that my alignment and action increased, but my mindset and my moods and opposite of worthiness, aka worthlessness, came up, which was really, really hard. And facing things from, I finished the inner child workbook last year, 2023. And then last year, I almost finished the shadow work journal. And so many things from childhood, from attaching my identity to productivity came up, from money, from results came up, versus, recognizing and realizing to celebrate ourselves as human beings, not human doings, not human accomplishments. And I changed my framework in 2024 to increase focus and simplicity with the top 3 goals. I shared earlier how I reached and exceeded 2 out of 3 goals and several other travel and adventure goals. And I realized 3 more lessons, reflecting on where my body and mind do not believe they are worthy to receive yet. That was a big one for me, especially I started to realize a lot like mid-year. Number 2, accelerating aligned action from the inside out and giving myself the space and grace to release when I'm not and to heal. And number 3, to set an intention to set goals I reach and exceed by stair-stepping them further and celebrating where I am no matter what, and releasing any FOMO of, if I don't hit a big goal or if I don't set a big goal right now, doesn't mean I won't reach it or set it later. Like, I realized that was a mindset I was carrying. So I'm a huge believer of setting bold, audacious goals, but I realized I've been doing that for so long and operating in the space of not enough, versus I remembered and realized how I used to set different stair-step goals, like in corporate, and how I would always exceed them and blow them out of the water. And so I realized where that would give me a space and grace to operate from a space of more than enough, to adjust. So with that in mind, moving into 2025, I decided to set my financial goal radically different compared to last year. So last year, I set it at 300K to $1 million plus, and I definitely took bold and massive action, and would have pipelines and proposals to millions every single month. And definitely go look at my video, Lessons Learned from Losing Millions of Dollars. So I'm very proud of that. At the same time, I haven't yet reached 6 figures as an entrepreneur, even though I've consistently reached 6 to 8 figures for brands. So I realized, wait a minute, let me train my brain to operate from a state of more than enough. So with that in mind, I'm setting my goal in 2025 as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO at 100,000. And with the intention of love, ease, and overflow. So that doesn't mean that I'm not available to reach 300K or a million or 2 million or 3 million. Hell yes, I'm available. But it also means that, okay, I'm setting it at 100K. That means 10 to 12K months. I'm releasing more pressure. Because when I look back in so much of my life, it's been about pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure, coming from an immigrant family, pressure from performance. So I realize where I want to shift that, and that's my invitation for you to shift. So I will help you simplify health, wealth, and business so that you create a life and business you love simpler and faster than you thought possible. So with that in mind, if you decide to follow my 2025 vision framework, you're going to see that I am increasing simplicity more than ever. I'm continuing to practice my Sacred 7 morning and night routines, my Create 7 and 7 Steps to Success, which, side note, you guys, if you love templates, I have so many creator templates now listed on Etsy, on Gumroad. You can find me on Etsy at Creator Community, on Gumroad at Miss MS Creator. And I will be linking that to my bit.ly, bit.ly /create it like a boss. That's in the show notes, within my YouTube description, on my IG at Katrina Julia Fit, etc. So since 2015, I have intentionally chosen to set prayerful time, especially end of the year, beginning of the year, monthly, in reflecting in gratitude, casting a vision, lining up my life legacy, and this included and continues to include 7 things I learned from a year of travel in 2021 and learning how home is where I am and so many different things. So to start the new year this year, it was different again compared to last year. I did the year in review. I did it over 2 to 3 weeks earlier because the end of 2023, I was sick for like 2 weeks straight. I ended up creating a template for free for you guys, the Notion template. I completed a ClickUp template, and then I'm also going to be listening to workshops from Brendan Bouchard and Growth Day, and then I completed journal prompts from Manifestation Babe as well. So one of my favorite verses is Proverbs 29:18, without vision, people perish. So the last quarter of 2024, I found myself focusing on simplicity and stability more than ever. Like my soul was calling to it. I celebrated reaching 2 to 3 goals for 2024. I recognized and realized where I didn't review monthly as much on where I was in the trajectory with my vision. And so I started to recognize that in October, and that's one of my intentions for 2025, to not only do a weekly review and a monthly review, which I was doing, but to do a look back to the vision so that I can redirect easier, faster. And I also recognized and realized as I assessed my alignment, my energy, and my focus, there is room for improvement to simplify further. And learning from Maria Went in Q4 of 2024 and tuning into several of her videos on YouTube, it's one of those things where I'm a big believer of when the student is ready, the teacher appears, or different teachers appear at different times. Help me realize profoundly, like, again, my soul, my mind, my body's ready for it to pour into one offer, the Creator School. So out of that, the idea for Creator School, aka the Creator Bundle, was born. This not only simplifies what I offer, but it takes all the previous value, all the previous free webinars, my courses, and bundles into what I've created. And it increases the flow massively, easily, and abundantly with my free creator toolkit that you can find with BIT at the link in the show notes, bit.ly /create it like a boss, into the multi-passionate intro offer, into the creator book bundle that bundles all my ebooks, the 7-day challenge, the transformation toolkit, massive value for $77 typically, and the Creator School, aka the bundle. So, and everything I'm creating from this, YouTube video, this podcast episode, templates being listed on Etsy, on Gumroad, books on Google Play, everything is leading towards that. And I'm recognizing and realizing how platforms and marketplaces, align massively to increase traffic, because that's one of my goals for 2025. So, every step of the way, that offer is in mind. That offer with, typically listing it at $997 is in mind. And then the upgrade from that is my retreats. The upgrade from that is brands working with me ongoing, as a creator to CMO, with creating content for them, every single month, with working with brands on influencer marketing and within my retreats, within my courses, etc. Like recently, you guys, actually, I'm going to share two things that I took bold action on. So later, the platform that does social media, automation, they've launched an integrated influencer marketing platform as well. And if you haven't yet, definitely check out my influencer free series, the guide, the course that you can get on its own or upgrade to the Creator School. So you can see how the flow is all there. It's already done. They integrated it with an influencer marketing platform, and they sent out a survey that they're working on a potential ongoing collaboration with Visa, which would obviously be major. So immediately I took action. I completed the survey, and the initial potential reward was being recognized as top 10 and getting a $100 gift card. And I saw it as not only the short-term reward, but also the potential long-term reward, that this is my chance to create and manifest what I'm envisioning, to plant a seed. We are farmers. As creators, we are farmers. We plant, sow, reap, harvest. It reminds me of the parable of the talents. It's like, are you operating out of scarcity with the one talent and holding on to it, unless someone pays you? Or are you cultivating and nourishing your talents from a state of abundance with, the 2 talents and doubling them, and learning and growing, or with the 5 talents and learning and growing? So the danger of that is too, if you love to learn like me and you had it easier where you would always multiply that you can then get caught up in your ego versus humility as well. So I submitted, I got recognized as top 10, planted that seed, that's in the works. So, I'm praying, manifesting, creating that. Then the other thing that came up is, when I first traveled full time in 2021 into 2022, Google and obviously obvious.ly reached out to me to submit 100 videos paid that I had already created, simply to repurpose them on YouTube. So I got paid 4 figures for that. So out of that, I got invited, even though at the time I had, I think, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, to be part of the exclusive YouTube Shorts community. And so I've been part of them. Several opportunities have come up, and recently an investor opportunity came up with an incredible investor community that invests in up-and-coming channels. And they've had incredible success working with different products all around the world, working with basketball players. And so I submitted, on a leap of faith, a pitch to them within the last week. So I share that to you to share that I am constantly taking steps to elevate and to create an alignment with my vision, my purpose, and life legacy as well, that don't always manifest the way that I imagine or immediately. Because that's part of, not knowing as farmers, aka creators, what seeds are going to manifest and sprout when, and what type of flowers or plants they are. Okay? So in order for you to create a 2025 vision in the year ahead, this framework is changing again compared to the 2024 vision. And this goal setting is transforming with clarity, with simplicity, and accountability. So in 2025, I shared that I focused on time tracking like never before. This helped me realize massively where I would misalign, where I would exert energy in different types of tasks, where I would create chaos, where I would complicate, and where I could simplify, where I could amplify, where I could stabilize, where I could focus on creating an average of $400 days, of $1,000 days, of $7,000 days, of $10,000 days, or $10,000 hours for that matter. So this helped me massively recognize self-sabotage, increase stability, increase simplicity, and then also focus with even more with an abundance mindset and a scaling mindset. So I want you to get one thing: nothing happens overnight. I have been, a full-time entrepreneur now since 2011 is when I left corporate, and I was making six figures. Then I was making brands and have since made brands 6 to 8 figures. At the same time, I've had a crazy, chaotic journey with money, with cash, with worthiness, with abundance. And, I will be sharing more and more about that. At the same time, that hasn't stopped me from rising up, from grit, from not quitting, from creating the six pack of money, the billions in our brains, on my ebooks, on the podcast, on the show, all those things. Transformation takes time. The bigger your vision, the more obstacles and resistance you'll face, as well as the opportunity to rise with resilience. Your character, and when I say this, I'm speaking to myself, your character, your discipline, your accountability will transform you like you never imagined. Humility, worthiness issues, depression, anxiety, like so many things have, come at me. Hormonal issues, so many different things. One of the reasons that I chose to travel the world when I did was also because it was radically less expensive than staying in Atlanta and living in an apartment that was $2,000-$3,000 a month. Versus right now, you guys, I'm in Vietnam, and the last place I stayed, I paid for a beautiful vintage room in an adorable 5-story home with an amazing kitchen and co-working cafe for $350 for the month. I mean, that's 10% of what some of the rent is now for an efficiency or a 1-bedroom in Atlanta. So those were decisions I made out of both abundance, out of practicality, and adventure. So those are the same types of challenges I'm going to place at your doorstep and invite you to consider, depending on what your goals and your vision and your legacy are. So, because circumstances, we have in areas of life will hit us and cause us or challenge us to rise up in ways we never imagined. So my word for 2025 that came up and is divinely downloaded is embody. And my phrase for 2025 is I am embodying who I am created to be and who I am and what I do. And my top 3 priorities for 2025 before I dive into the template is I am embodying wellness with 5+ workouts weekly, slow travel, and top 2 and a fitness show. Number 2, I am increasing in real life community by 25% minimum online and in Bali and the US with stability and slow travel. So you can see how the slow travel is a common theme. You can see how I first put wellness and taking care of me first again. Number 3, and this goes to my top goal and the business goal that I talked about earlier. I am focusing on a daily cash flow of 300 plus, monthly cash flow of 12K plus, and an annual cash flow of 100K plus, aligned to Creator School and Herbalife Active World Team. Because here's the thing also, you guys, with my Creator School, with the Creator Book Bundle, with the 7-day challenge, every step of the way, when you purchase something with me beyond an ebook or a template, like that's, solely, say, sold on like a book on Google Play, for example, and within Etsy, even my templates include my 7-day challenge. Unless it's the marketing template. There's one, I think, offer that I only have the marketing template as a test. But every step of the way, my transformation toolkit is included. That includes wellness, wealth, business tools. So by knocking out one goal, I'm automatically moving progress towards another. And that came through, I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago in progress and reflection. So this accelerates my attention, my awareness, my alignment, and directly and indirectly momentum, which helps me operate from a state of more than enough abundance versus creating huge goals, then not reaching any, which happened, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then feeling, again, perpetuating the not enough. Versus I saw in 2024 how, oh my God, I simplified, I reached 2 out of the 3 goals. How can I lovingly embrace myself even more in 2025? So that's my invitation to you. In 2024, I recognized how my wellness was not as disciplined in prior years and how when I had those dark days, how I knew in the past real life community helped me, and how that also suffered with my travels and shifting. And then my desire for the larger goals and diverted attention led to less energy, aka fire, aka celebrating, aka reaching an impact, and making things simpler and easier and abundant and overflowing. So I'm not negating in any way, shape, or form my progress. I'm not negating what happened. I'm not beating myself over above and beyond like I used to years ago. I can be and have been incredibly hard on myself. And that also came from habits and things I observed or learned, in childhood and beyond. I'm not negating the adventures or travels in any way, shape, or form. That was what my soul called for, and that was exactly what the year I needed. And that is also what I want you to consider. Like, recognize the beauty in what happened, and the both and the growth. I think too many times we are so focused on what's next, we forget to celebrate what is and what is right now, and the beauty and the growth, and that it's necessary for the next evolution of elevation. And on top of that, the wins in my 2024 year in review, I went on dating apps for the first time in 2024. So if you didn't read that on the blog or see the carousel on my Instagram or the episode on my show, definitely check that out. So you can see and hear how I'm celebrating so much more this year. Okay. So let's get into the vision. I integrated also for the first time ever my vision with the ClickUp and Notion template with the 3x3 approach. So that's also different than last year. This includes 3 areas of wellness. So you heard in the top 3 goals: wellness, lifestyle, and business/finances, and then 3 goals/sub goals in each area. So that helps me be even more focused. Okay. Lifestyle. Number 1, increase slow and sun travel by 3 times. So I recognize in 2024 how staying in each destination an average of 1.5 months or less impacted my discipline and my community, which was in direct conflict with what I desired and now desire. But I needed to experience that in order to recognize what was next. Number 2, reach NPC, National Physique Committee, Bikini National Qualification. So if you followed along in the past, I've lost over 55 pounds 7 years ago. You know that I've competed in 2 fitness shows and numerous other athletic events like triathlons and half marathons. And I recognized in my year in review how my consistency, discipline, and results accelerate when I'm on prep. So I decided, and I wanted to compete again in 2024, but again, alignment, awareness was not there. So I decided, okay, let me start again, humble myself how I was at the end of 2013. Let me get up to working out at a gym again 5-6 days a week. Then let me get on prep again with Ingrid Romero and Team Edge. I already took steps in aligned action with that and got the information. And let me again get on prep for 6 months to a year and do 2 to 3 shows again between US, likely Dallas and or Atlanta or California, and then 1 internationally to, again, go big or go home. Number 3, attend a wellness retreat. So although I create retreats, I recognize how being a participant helps me receive, helps me be in community and fill my soul. And I found some amazing, so I list my retreats, my creator retreats on Book Retreats, on Retreat Guru, on others. And then I recognize several that are more than budget friendly in Thailand and in Bali as well. Okay, so area number 2, community. Participate in 12 in real life events. Last year, I did increase community with attending over 4 events in Bali, group day trips globally, and Herbalife Extravaganza. At the same time, I recognized again where my pace of travel did or did not allow, depending on how I looked at it, for as much as in real life connection and depth as I desire. As a result, I am shifting to increase focus on community in 2025, including the New Year's with the Herbalife run in Vietnam. So funny story, you guys. I signed up for the 5K. I went and got the t-shirt, the packet on New Year's Eve. And then I discovered that the 5K was going to start at 4:30 a.m. I was like, what in the fuck? Like, what is happening? And I have never other than an Olympic distance triathlon in DC, had to be at an event that early. Because even for fitness shows, when we're going to get tanned or different things, like usually it's like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Even for the Olympic distance triathlon in DC, I think I had to be at setup like at 5 a.m. So when 5Ks are typically like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., anywhere I've done them in the world. So when they told me like warm up was going to be at 4:30, I was like, what in the world? And it's in Hanoi, much darker, and it's still cold ish for me at 4:30, and I did my best. I went back to my Airbnb. I was there at 9 p.m. I took a shower, talked to my family. My parents were in Austria with my brother, sister-in-law, and niece and nephew. And my brain was like thinking of stuff, finishing stuff, wrapping up stuff, and I did not fall asleep till after midnight. On top of that, I've been doing more than 10Ks every single day in Hanoi walking around. And I did my best. I tried to wake up at 3:30 a.m. and my body was like, hell no. And I literally was like in deep, deep, deep REM sleep, fell back asleep. Tried again like 30 minutes later. My body was like, hell no. My brain was like, no, it's cold, it's dark, we are not getting up. So for the first time ever, I did not make a fitness event, and I just laughed about it, and like it like cracked me up because I woke up like around 8. I went to the Note Cafe, which is an adorable cafe here in Hanoi. It has notes written all over it. You can see it on my Instagram. And I went to go work there, and I showed up. Actually, I tried to go for I went to the finish line for the half marathon because I thought, okay, it's only 8:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. Surely they're still running. No, they also started super early, and it was done. Like all the end of the race stuff was also shut down, and it was done. So I was just like cracking up. I put on the t-shirt, so I signed up. I got the t-shirt, I wore it, and like 2-3 people asked me like, oh, did you do the half marathon? I was like, no, I have a funny story out of it, and they wanted to know, so I told them. So there's that. Along those lines too, I'm also going to be joining local gyms. So when I go to Bali, when I stay in Ubud, I'm going to join TT Batu for the month. I went there before already. It's a co-working space, a gym, and a sauna. And then when I stay close to Canggu, I'm going to join Nirvana Life, which I also went there before. Same thing when I travel to Thailand. I found an amazing gym with a spa in Pattaya. Same thing when I go to Philippines, etc. So I'm being really, really, really intentional. And then also with co-working spaces as well. Like if you tuned in earlier or last year, I went to Baluna Bali, I went to B Work Bali. And so I'm going to join to increase stability places for a month, like a co-working space for a month. Like either I'll stay at a co-live like I did with Balik Bali for over a month last year, or I'm going to join a co-work space locally. So number 2, under community, create 7 in real life events. So in integrity with I create more than I consume. I will create more in real life events in 2025 in Bali and US and beyond, including creative pop-ups and retreats. So one way I literally just took action on this today also was Belong with Daybreaker community. They are launching block parties and things with Belong. So I sent them via their form a pitch on doing a block party in Bali and or in California and or in Atlanta. So we'll see what happens with that. On top of that, I just listed last week or the week before, I listed basically repeat online freebies and paid items on Eventbrite, on platforms like that for my online items, like the Creator Toolkit, like Creator to CMO. So when I was crafting my marketing plan, which is a template on Gumroad and Etsy as well, via Canva. I have 2 marketing templates, and you can get a preview to my entire marketing plan for 2025. It's also evolved massively, is created pop-up events. And so I realized, I was like, okay, I can list my pop-up events on Eventbrite, again, like I did in the past in Atlanta, but now list them for Bali, for Atlanta, for Dallas, for either California or Miami, etc., with the events I'm going to create quarterly, etc. Number 3, increase online community. So part of that is also increasing traffic over 25% across my creator community circle, across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Lemon8 I just joined. I also just joined OnlyFans. So some of you may have heard of OnlyFans, and it's been touted partially as adult quote unquote entertainment / porn/soft porn. However, there are many creators that are digital nomads, global travelers that are using it as a platform similar to like a Patreon, which is like a membership platform. So I'm testing that as well too. I literally just set it up day before yesterday. It got approved yesterday. I posted 2 pieces of content there, so I'm testing it softly, like just repurposing. I listed my intro video on there about me, and then I listed the year in review blog. So easy, literally took a second, maybe 2 minutes. Okay. So my media will focus will simplify and intensify with each theme, also following a dance with trends behind the scenes. Like, for example, I literally already did this with the year in review. It's on the email, it's on YouTube, it's will be on the podcast, it is clipped with shorts on Opus Clip. Then I already did a dance with behind the scenes. Then I also am going to do behind the scenes clip with a voiceover. And then I showed a trend with trend music on it. And then I've been integrating, which this is one of the automation tools I use, ManyChat as well, with automated DMs. So for example, for my year in review and vision blogs, and by the way, it's also on the blog. So year in review is a separate blog post. Vision is a separate blog post. And originally I was going to do a separate video for each, but I realized, wait a minute, no, simplify. So instead I'm creating one massive YouTube video, one massive podcast, one email that's going to go out, everything. Then from that long video, it's going to be repurposed via Opus Clip. Then every single piece of content that goes out on any channel, Instagram, YouTube, etc., is used and repurposed automatically with repurpose.io. And then from that, ManyChat, which is the automated DMs on Instagram, gets automated, etc. So that's community. Last but definitely not least, because again, this is my, the other ones are growing. However, like you heard me talk about, Creator School is my big business goal. Wealth. Number 1, increase daily cash flow to 300 plus daily. This helps me focus on daily actions that may create and exceed $300 daily with love, ease, and flow, or overflow, you guys, overflow. For example, before recording this segment, I was clearing my emails and I got an opportunity from Bambassadors, and it's for $300 exactly. And it's simple to UGC, user generated content videos, exactly for $300 to create up to 2 clips with some B-roll behind the scenes on an app for online security. So I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. I'm a digital nomad. I care about online security. I looked at some of their examples. I pitched it. I'm like, could I get $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 for something similar? Yes. However, it'll maybe take me 30 minutes or less to fill the segments. And I already have so much B-roll to use for the behind the scenes as a digital nomad. Like, guys, I have B-roll from 2024. I have B-roll across all the places and spaces I've stayed, from the project with Amazon, Expedia, my daily content that would literally cover me for the next 10 years. Like, I'm not even exaggerating at all. It's insane. So I already know today, and it's right now in Asia, 1 p.m. in Vietnam. That's 1 a.m. your time in the U.S. I already know within the first, depending on what time zone you're on, if you're on East Coast, it's the first hour of the day. I already know I took an aligned action step that aligns to that. Everything else is overflow, which tells me both directly and indirectly and consciously and subconsciously that I'm creating the space to not only be aware of, but also create and receive more than $300 every single day. So this video, perfect example. The other thing I want you to get with anything you create as a content creator, oh yeah, you want to try? Sorry, you guys is asking. You want to try it? You're taking a picture. Sorry. You guys, so funny. I have this beautiful Vietnam hat, and this lady just saw it because it's like perfect with the cherry blossoms. And she's like, she wanted to borrow it for the hat and for the cherry blossoms picture. At first, I didn't understand. I was like, what's happening? But she wanted it because it matches the background like perfectly. Like, I'm already wearing all pink. So funny. It's so funny that people think I'm so open, because years ago, I'd be like, what are you doing? Give me my hat. So Yeah, hold on. It's like distracting me because it's so funny that it's also like I like it because she was also bold enough to ask me to borrow it. It's so funny. Like different ways that people respond to me, it tells me that like I'm also a very different human. Oh my God, they're passing it around on the table. Oh my God, so funny. You guys, I hold on. I have to like record this with my phone. This is like freaking hilarious. I'm gonna have to post this on YouTube because it's so funny. So random people borrowing my hat to use it for the cherry blossoms. So I'm literally, as I'm recording this podcast, I'm literally like doing a behind the scenes UGC clip. It's so funny. And one of the series I'm doing on my YouTube is caught on camera. So this is me also, you're catching a caught on camera moment where some I think they're Vietnamese. Sometimes I confuse Vietnamese or Chinese. I'm not so familiar. But literally you guys, they're borrowing my hat to record with this so funny. that 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 you're so welcome. Yes. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? From Vietnam? That yeah. That means beautiful, you guys. Like I thought so because one lady looked kind of Chinese, but I thought they were Vietnamese. Okay, so back to business. So that already tells me I'm operating from a state of more than enough. And the other thing I want to tell you, whether you are working in corporate America, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a freelancer, whether you are a creator and you desire to shift into being a CEO and having full-time income, because part of my mission and vision is to help over 1 million female entrepreneurs reach $1 million. And guess what? I get to go first, right? So one of the things that fundamentally started being divinely downloaded for me the last quarter of 2024 is two things. Not one thing, two things. Number one, recognize your gifts, talents, and abilities and recognize the value that you bring into the world. And I realized where by me not believing I was worthy as I am and recognizing all the gifts, all the talents, all the abilities I have, despite my mom telling me for years, despite my dad like pouring things into me, despite all the evidence I have of this, is recognizing and realizing where if we don't believe we're worthy, it shows up as a scarcity aspect in everything in our lives, including in our finances, including in our love, including in community, including in self-sabotage, right? Which leads me to point number two. I recognize where, okay, Katrina, by not believing you're worthy, by shrinking from your value, by not showcasing so much value on your content, on your YouTube channel, on your podcast, on these templates that you create into your creator school, you're not only shortening yourself, you're shortening other people in the world. Like you're keeping others from recognizing their gifts, talents, and abilities, and that's also why your abundance, your wealth, your money's constrained. So with the focus on creator school and the flow of all this value that I'm showcasing and sharing, on YouTube, on the podcast, on Instagram, on showcasing the different types of content, the templates, the creator, intro offer, the bundle, and ultimately the creator school, my actions start to align with ease by using, the aligned and amplified tools to automate like Kajabi, like Opus Clip, like Repurpose, like the platforms, Etsy, Gumroad, etc. It becomes easier and easier and easier. So creating these templates alongside my 75 tips, tools, and tech, which you get that ebook with the creator book bundle, and the 75 tips, tools, and tech is also a free preview in my creator toolkit, and which includes the creator free community circle. So you can see how there is value every step of the way on marketplaces, on platforms like Notion, where I'm listing both free and paid templates, like Etsy, Gumroad, Google Play, Google Books, Kajabi. This helps increase the traffic from coming in, which makes it easier and easier and easier, not only for me to attract more people, to go viral, to provide value from an abundance and heartfelt and like-hearted way from the inside out. It also organically increases traffic that can be then used for ads if I choose it to be. And then increases the flow with ease to have $300 plus days, $700 plus average days, $1,000 plus average days, $10,000 average days. You can see how I am speaking what I seek. Proverbs 18:21 tells us the power of life and death is in the tongue, and those who love it will bear fruit. Speaking of, I've been one of the courses I'm in right now in Mind Valley. So I'm in two right now, two quests. One is creative visualization with Lisa Nichols. I've been listening to her for years and felt drawn to that quest recently. And that's also in my 75 tips, tools, and tech with an offer aligned to Mind Valley with you as well, for you as well, is she ends every visualization talking about ask, seek, knock in that scripture. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be answered. So that keeps reverberating in my brain and reminding me. And the second quest I'm in right now is the community quest with the founder Radwa of Daybreaker as well. So this in mind with the business to business to consumer strategy that I really, really, really aligned on, that you can find on my blog post on the podcast with the Launch Like a Boss episode. And that's also featured in my creator toolkit and bit.ly, the link in the show notes, and the link at bit.ly creator 2CMO. So number 2 under wealth is reach 12K plus monthly cash flow consistently. So you can see how 300 plus average daily, really, if I multiply it, is like 9K, right? However, I'm stretching it to 12K. With reaching the daily goal consistently, the 12K plus months will take care of themselves. And you can see how the example I even gave you of today is from a state of overflow. Some examples include daily sales of Kajabi templates. So I'm also, like all my Kajabi pages, I'm submitting on Kajabi to be on their marketplace. I'm also then bundling in my Kajabi offers in a one template, one offer. Then if you end up purchasing the Creator School, you're also going to get all my templates. You're going to get my Kajabi templates. You're going to get my Notion templates. You're going to get my ClickUp templates, like insane value, my Honeybook templates. Like literally just my template offer, you guys, could easily be $1,000. I know that. Like I'm very well aware of that. However, from a spiritual, a practical, and an overflow mindset, I'm also mindful of where I've been in different states. I also am mindful of creators at different states and places, and also with the mindset of having brands bundle and, select my items for, say, 10, 100, 1,000 people. I am choosing to piecemeal my templates at different levels, typically $33 plus. That's also a spiritual number for me on Etsy, on Gumroad. But then when I bundle all the templates in one offer, I will offer them all for $97. That's not including website templates. Website templates, as far as like a full on website, is going to be a different price point as well. So that's including like a link in bio, that's including the ClickUp templates, that's including Notion templates, Honeybook templates. Like you're going to get thousands of dollars of value if you purchase that offer once it's live for $97 via either my Kajabi and or via Etsy, Gumroad. On top of that, like I said, it's going to be in Creator School included. Like that alone more than pays for Creator School, because like my Creator to Cash template goes through 7 ways to make 7K in 7 days. And that's including my dashboard templates. That's including the dashboards I've created for the 90-day plan for Create 7, which is the model I use to create, and my 7 steps to success. So massive, massive value. Okay. So by reaching these goals, my business and financial goals of Herbalife Supervisor to Active Royal Team, as I shared earlier, and every paid offer beyond books, transformation tools are included, as well as my giving of 10% plus, my saving of 10% plus, and reaching 10K plus in savings and paying off debt becomes easy. It's a state of overflow. One of my favorite books is Rich as Fuck by Amanda Frances. I listened not 2024 but 2023 over 4 times, and I listened to pieces of it again last year as well. Like I love that book. Number 3, which then leads to, so you can see, step 1, increase daily cash flow 300 plus. Step 2, reach 12K plus monthly cash flow consistently. Number 3, 100K plus annual income as a creator. For years, I've helped brands and creators reach 6 to 8 figures with Flow. I did reach, as I shared earlier, 6 figures in corporate. As a creator, I have not yet. I've helped other brands reach, again, 6 to 8 figures, but I haven't, which has shown me unequivocally, and repeatedly that I didn't believe I was worthy, despite all this evidence. I created self sabotage, imposter, complexity, chaos, misdirected energy, want. However, my journey and your journey is paramount to get to where you desire to get to, your purpose, your legacy, and the people you are meant to help. It is not about you, friend. It is about you, but it's not about you. Like, that's what I've had to realize, even in my own journey of humility, of getting help from my mom and my dad above and beyond what I would have ever imagined, in spite of and despite having an MBA, a CPA, all this evidence. So I want to give a pause to the cause and a moment for you to recognize whatever you're walking through, or however hard money or challenges or creating has been for you, you're not alone. Like, I wish certain people would have told me, how hard it was way back when. So it's been quite a journey getting here. I'm not here at the 100K plus yet, but I'm beyond proud of myself for the patience, the purpose, the perseverance, the persistence, the resilience, the rise, the grit. And at the same time, I am deeply humbled. I'm so deeply humbled at how much my mom believes in me, how much she pours into me and my brother and my dad, both conditionally and unconditionally, because she is human and she definitely has her moments. And I know she listens to my show a lot. So whether she listens to this or not doesn't even matter, because I tell her things like this all the time, both verbally, both in face to face, and both, on our WhatsApp, writing it, because we get to revisit it ongoing, and I'm sharing pieces of my journey because I'm ready to share it. At the same time, there's so much more that you guys don't know yet, and there's so much more that I will share at the perfect times. Because the thing is, I've also learned several things about sharing your visions, your goals, your moments of challenge, your moments of pain. And I'm a big believer of transitioning pain to purpose. Is be careful who you share your vision with, and where your mindset is at, and if you're open to sharing it, and if you're ready for other people's voices to enter, other people's opinions to enter, because opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And then also be careful of when you share different vulnerable moments, and at what level you share them, and how deeply, and if you are ready for other people's voices to enter. So I'm going to drop that right there, that point of wisdom. Because oftentimes I or you get to spend, moments of quiet, of solitude with our Creator, with creation, depending on what you believe. I believe in God, and recognize where you're at with your journey. So in the blog and in the behind the scenes, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see right now I am showcasing a snapshot and a preview of the 2025 vision template. And what that looks like is the 3 areas mapped out, 3 areas, 3 goals. So exactly what I just walked you through. Lifestyle, 3 goals with 3 boards. Increase 3 times slow and sun travel, number 1. Number 2, an MPC national qualified. Number 3, attend retreat wellness. Then wealth, number 1, increase cash and daily cash flow, 300 plus. Number 2, 12K consistent months. Number 3, 100K plus year. Boom, boom, boom. Simplicity. Number 3, community. Participate in 12 plus in real life events. Number 2, create 7 plus in real life created pop-ups events. Number 3, increase online community, etc. Okay. So, and then to the right, and this is directly from the Notion template, winning habits. Q1, daily workouts. I'm already knocking it out of the park. I'm so proud of myself. Like, I worked out twice yesterday at the gym and walked over 7 kilometers. And I haven't done that, you guys, since I was competing. And I remember I was doing that when I traveled, or like I spoke at the World Spinning Sports Conference in Miami. And I remember it was easy for me then. So I love seeing myself get back to that, especially traveling the world. Q2 habit, daily plus 300 plus. Now, of course, I want to hit it in Q1. However, I'm giving myself the space and the grace to get to it by Q2. Less pressure. Number 3, community increased, 3x. Number 4, sunshine up, 3x. Because what I recognized this year, I chose Thailand again in September and didn't check that it was the middle of the monsoon season. And then I did look at the weather for Vietnam. And it looked like it was going to be less rain, but there was a lot more rain in Q4 in Da Nang than I anticipated. which definitely impacted my mood. And I realized, okay, I get to shift and give less power to weather, right? And I got more work done. And then I shifted to Hanoi and Ninh. So I created more sunshine easily. And then I also realized where I don't want to repeat this in 2025. So I was like, okay, I will either go somewhere after the US in Central or South America, or I Googled that Sri Lanka or Philippines has much more sunshine in Q4. So I was way more and am setting the stage for way more intentionality. Along those lines, I recognized this year and last year, you guys, how I spent so much time investigating and researching Airbnbs. Like it became, and or pitching brands for stays. It became like another part-time job, okay? Like just being honest, just being real. And it became a way for me to disassociate too. So instead, to counter that self-sabotage, I spent about 45 minutes yesterday researching the 7 countries, already earmarking exactly what Airbnbs I want to stay at in Bali, or I'm sorry, in Thailand, coming up next, in Bali, in Philippines, potentially in Japan, and or in Australia. Then in US, I decided, okay, I'm going to stay at Hello Landings, which are fully furnished apartment inventory at luxury apartments in cities like Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, etc., etc. So I then, even if I browse somewhat on Airbnb, it's nowhere near what I spent this year, okay? Being fully honest, fully real. And another way I'm countering self-sabotage is I am shutting off my Amazon Prime membership, so I binge a lot less, and my Netflix. And then manifestations, my love. So becoming more and more who I'm created to be and continuing to do creative visualizations and different things with self-love and pleasure to align and manifest my love. The 12K plus months consistently, and then top 2 National Physique Committee, nationally qualified, and Active World Team Herbalife, which is like baby press team. Then I show you a behind the scenes with my ClickUp goal setting template and Vision 2025 template. So I really like in ClickUp. I've used ClickUp now since 2020, and I love ClickUp. Like I love ClickUp more than Notion because ClickUp does the dashboards, and maybe Notion does, but in ClickUp it's very, very celebrated. So it's been like front and center for me ever since I signed up in 2020. So the goal dashboard they have. So I have the dashboards created for the Create 7, for the 90 day, but they also have a goals dashboard. So the areas that I mentioned earlier on the boards in the Notion template, I set up on graphic goals. So they're like circles in progress on ClickUp. So I can already see where I'm like at 46% on daily average cash flow with 6 targets on ClickUp. Increase in real life community 25%, attend a wellness retreat, nationally qualified, and then increase time and destinations by a minimum of 50%. So that's already like I'm already setting that. So when you create my creator toolkit, which you can find in the bit.ly, create it like a boss, you will get the Notion year in review template for free, and or you can comment or DM creator on my Instagram at Katrina Julia Fit. And then in the blog post, as well as I'm going to update it on the Create It Like a Boss link, you can find my creator templates, jump into my Etsy shop and Gumroad. And then, as I mentioned, they will be added into my creator school and my creator bundle as well. Some of my favorite verses include Galatians 5:1. It's for freedom, Christ has set me free. Corinthians 13, faith, hope, and love. These 3 remain, and love is the greatest. Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman, and I'm paraphrasing. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind so you may test and approve God's good, pleasing, and perfect will. Galatians 5:22, which I talked about in a recent episode, and the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Philippians 4:8, focus on what is pure, lovely, just, and praiseworthy. Isaiah 61:3, I think that one was beauty from ashes because I'm literally just doing this from memory right now. Deuteronomy 8:18, God gives us the power to create wealth. The Creator gives us the power to create wealth. You guys, I first learned that verse like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, why do not more believers, preachers, churches talk about this? Because that tells me so many churches around the world are operating from scarcity. Like, why do you not empower believers to say we have the power to create wealth? It's given to us. It is a birthright. Like, I learned about that verse via Candace at the Epic Fab Girl. Like, I love her prayer calls. Proverbs 10:22. The blessing of the blessings of the Lord bring wealth and bring no sorrow to it. And you guys, the reason why I remember these verses is because I recite them in my mind so much now. Okay, Ruth, the entire book of Ruth. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And so many others as well. So I hope you got so much value out of this. I'm so excited to see what you create. Leave a review on the show, and I'll definitely shout you out on my Instagram. Comment on the YouTube comments. Hit subscribe. Share it on your channels, you guys. Tag me so that more people know about this, because I know I'm giving so much value in this YouTube video, this podcast, these blog posts, these templates, and I know I would have wished to have found someone that would gift so much of this last year, the year before that, etc. So that is my vision, my manifestation, my hope, and my prayer, and my intention with creating so much massive value out of this. And with that, remember, create, transform, and inspire, because you are born to.